a lot of people who come from a Muslim upbringing, a Muslim background, find it very challenging, very difficult to come out of the closet and say that they no longer believe in what their parents believe in. They no longer follow it. They no longer do what their parents do, what their family does. And, they sort of have different perceptions on life and how they would like to live it. They find it very challenging because the brainwashing is so, man, talk about, I admire, talk about masterful brainwashing that's going on all around the Middle East. That should be clear to you based on the projected external reality in the Middle East, which is constant warfare. Oh, but it's all of the Americans. It's their fault. It's the West's fault, right? هدول الأمريكان هدول كله من أمريكا كله من أمريكا كله من أمريكا هدول بدهم يانا هيك وبدهم يانا هيك وما. Come on. Come on. Come on. They just see an opening because they just see an opening. You can't, they just see an opening. It's clear an opening in the society is there, the way they're set up and brainwashed, and they say, well, the West says we're gonna take advantage of it. That's it. Right? I mean, it's the external projections, constant warfare in the Middle East. Constant warfare. You think the Americans would be able to come in and exploit the weaknesses if they hadn't been there? They just exploited. That's all. They already exploit just a fragmented state of affairs in societies there. Okay? I grew up, right? I wanted to go to war in 2003 and fight the infidels, the Americans, because I was brainwashed. What was I? I was 12 years old. And I was going marching and protesting, and I was like burning American flags. And I really wanted to go and fight. I mean, you go to the Friday prayers, that's all you hear is the rhetoric, the infidels. Let's fight the infidels, al-mushrikeen, al-kuffar. I mean, masterful brainwashing going on there by the religious institutions and by the government, which results in the sad, unfortunate state of affairs of the Middle East, the constant warfare. My family comes from Syria. Okay, that's what that's one of the most distraught places on the planet right now. Okay, and now people say, well, it's the government's fault, right? It's Bashar al-Assad's fault, their government's fault. I'll tell you something. The way the Syrian household is set up, it's set up to be authoritative. It's authoritative. Almost all Syrian families that I know, including my own family, the dad is the source of authority and he beats up his kids, and so it's the way society. So then, of course, that's going to result in a government like that. And of course, that's going to result in wars between people. Okay, I wanted to go fight the Americans in 2003. And then when the Syrian revolution started in 2011, I actually wanted to go. I was even a bit older then. I was 20. And I actually wanted to go and fight for the rebels, for the revolution. Okay, the brainwashing. So strong there. Right? I mean, so it's so difficult for you to come out and say, well, I don't really believe in your religion, Ma and Pa, anymore. I really don't. And I've got several queries from you guys. One via Instagram, you know who you are. You told me now you have a little thing with your mom. And we talked about it. I got another comment from somebody saying that, I'm questioning the things I learned. But I'm still afraid to come out, and I'm still, what my parents, usually it's the parents, right? Usually it's the parents. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? In some cases, parents will disown you. In some cases, parents, especially if you're a girl, especially if you're a woman. Oh, God, if you're a Middle Eastern woman, oh, man. Oof. I mean, the amount of weight that's on your shoulders. If you actually want to just do your thing, maybe take off the hijab and just, do your thing and just go and live a normal life, I suppose. I mean, oh God, the weight on your shoulders to do that. It's 5 times as difficult for a Middle Eastern woman to rebel against the traditions of the family and the religious traditions and the cultural traditions than a man. Oh God, if you're a Middle Eastern woman in that in those shoes, go add me on Instagram. We'll talk about it. I have a lot of compassion for that because I know it's very difficult, very very difficult. So okay, now let me share with you here. How has it been so far for me? What is the situation like with my parents? Because I am open about it here. My parents know. They've disgustedly watched some of my videos, specifically one called "What is my religion," where I just openly like say I'm not Muslim. Like I just say it, which I'll say it again. I'm not Muslim. And yeah, they know about it, and they're obviously not too enthusiastic because my dad is quite a religious man, and my mom now, she's in her older age, quite religious too. And my entire family there, that entire side of the family, both sides, but especially my dad's side, they're religious people. Okay, religious. All right. So, what is it like for me? I talk about this publicly. I said this publicly. I spoke to my mom about it directly. Never did with my dad, though he knows. All right, my dad just doesn't want to have that because okay, I'll give you an example. One time, this was 2 years ago. My dad wanted to pray. Me and my brother just didn't pray, and my dad just like straight up told us like I'm mad. Like it was just like we didn't. He's like I'm mad with you guys. He just didn't even want to hang around with us, you know. But well, that was 2 years ago. Now attitudes have changed. Now they've come to a place where they're more accepting. Okay, they're more accepting. Doesn't mean they're enthusiastic about it. It doesn't mean that they don't talk amongst one another. I hear gossip. I got my little birds there, right? I hear gossips. Doesn't mean they don't talk in amongst themselves, like my parents, and say, look at that Saeed. Look what he's doing. Look at what did he, what kind of son did we have now? I mean, they do that. They say that stuff, but they're more of at an accepting stage, I suppose. Like my dad now, when say I'm back home just visiting them, or they're here visiting or whatever, he just goes and he doesn't tell us to come pray with him no more. He just goes and he just prays because he understands the deal. He understands we don't follow the religion anymore. He understands it. He just goes. He just doesn't he won't wake me up at Fajr anymore. He won't tell me it's time for prayer. He won't tell me all right, it's time to go to the mosque. No, none of that. No, none of that. That's not there anymore because he understands. He understands. That's I'm not Muslim. He knows that. But I never directly had the conversation with him because he doesn't want to have it. Frankly, I don't want to have it neither. It's too uncomfortable for him. It's uncomfortable for me, but I'll have it if necessary. But I've had it with my mom. And my mom also now avoids talking about it because it's too uncomfortable for her. It's uncomfortable for me as well. But if you want to talk about it, here I am. We'll talk. That's all I do. I do is talk. Anyway, right? You guys should know this by now in these videos. So I'll talk. Let's talk. But it's because it's actually uncomfortable for both of them. So they don't even talk about it. They know what's up. It's uncomfortable. And in the early stages, I can't tell you how much rift there was between us. But the mother is the mother. She's got the feminine principle. She still loves me. I still love her. Looking forward to see her soon. She's looking forward to see me soon. She's just sent me a beautiful gift with my brother. You don't have to worry about your mom. Okay? And the person that I spoke to on Instagram also, you said your mom kicked you out of the house. But then a week later, she said, please come back. So you really never have to worry about your mom. Okay? I'm just telling you right now, if you're a Muslim woman or man, even a woman, and you decide to rebel, you take the brave. It takes a lot of bravery, a lot of courage. But here's the thing. You're taking a leap for many people. Okay? I know a lot of you guys are getting inspired to do the same because you're seeing somebody do it. And here I am. I got a Muslim name, an Arabic name. I'm not dropping that. I speak very fluent Arabic, by the way. And I quite enjoy the Middle Eastern part of me. I enjoy the comedy, the music. I listen to a lot of Middle Eastern songs. Amr Diab especially. Oh, Mariam Faris, Amr Diab. Like I listen to a lot of Arabic songs. Okay, I actually love Arabic music more than any other type of music. Okay, so it's I'm still there. I'm not dropping any of it because I understand that a lot of young folks, young Middle Eastern folks now are summoning up the courage inside of them to do the same thing. They're summoning up that region of the world. I mean, if they're light workers getting incarnated right now, please send them to the Middle East. We need a lot of people there. Okay, that region has really been distraught for a long time. The consciousness there is just like, it's pretty low. It's pretty low. Like I grew up on mean streets there, man. I got in fights, knife fights, all kinds of fights. Mean place, tough place, mean place. The consciousness is mean there, and the main authority of spirituality, which is Islam, is like it's so hijacked with dogma and kill the infidels and holy war and blah 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 blah, right? And the women there are just like they're looked at as inferiors. They're just straight up looked at as inferiors. So that's why I say for a Middle Eastern woman, very tough, very very tough. And of course now I'm also speaking to like Persian people and Pakistani people, like anybody. When I say Middle East, I'm talking. That's the spectrum, not just Arab. I just happen to be Arab, but that's where the religion of Islam sprang from the Arabic Peninsula, and then it spread to many parts of the world. So I'm speaking on the behalf of not just Arabs here, Muslims. Okay, the ones that are looking to change teams, if you will. Okay, switch teams. I mean, you're looking for a transfer here, right? You submitted a request to get transferred to another team, and you're just waiting to hear back. Now you're the manager. You can accept the transfer and get transferred, but you must muster up a lot of courage. You really must muster up a lot of courage, and it's something I've done. And as a result, I faced immense uncomfortable rift and really just bad vibrations between me and my parents. Well, I'll tell you this, mothers will come around very quickly, much faster than you think, because they have the feminine principle, and they ultimately love you. The mother just loves you. It's in her. So you really have to take advantage of the mother's love to her kids, and go ahead and a lot of times you don't have to confront your parents like or rub it in their face. Yeah, so a gesture as simple as I'm not gonna pray anymore. That just tells them, like if you just don't go pray. Somebody asks you why, you just gently or just from a place of calmness you say, I do my own prayer. That's what I usually say, which is true. Like when I was asked why don't you pray anymore, I said, well, I just do my own prayer. That's what I said, right? So you don't have to come out of it like say, well, mom, I'm not a Muslim anymore. You may do that, but the way I did it was through these videos, and then they found that, and then they started to ask around, and they asked me, and I would explain to them my position. So it really depends. It depends, but you don't wanna like go and start a fight or a conflict. But conflict will find you eventually. They will ask you questions. Now your mom will come around. Okay, she will come around. She'll come around. If my mom is watching this, I love you so much. Okay, and thank you for coming around. Really, thank you. Because at the end of the day, it's about love. Okay, it really is. So the mothers can see it a lot easier, because it's inside of them. It's the feminine principle, the female principle. This is the ascension to 4D. It's the heart chakra. It's the female feminine principle. Okay? So I honor that very much. I honor the goddess archetype. In fact, it is right now the main archetype in my life. My background on my phone is the Mother Gaia. Is a nice painting or picture of Mother Gaia. That's sort of my goddess right now. I'm very much understanding now that we're moving into a feminine world, and in fact it's the women that are gonna move us there. So I have a lot of reverence for the goddess archetype and for the female principle in the universe, because that's the love principle. So your mom has that love principle. It will take even a year, 2 years, depending on how dogmatic, also religiously dogmatic your mom is. But the mother will come around. Father is a lot more difficult. It's a lot more difficult. So it's gonna be very uncomfortable for you to come out. But you're gonna inspire a lot of people to do the same. Hopefully, I'm doing that for some of you guys here. You're gonna inspire a lot of people to do that. And you will find your family, your tribe. If your family disowns you and says goodbye, you will find your tribe. You will find your soul fam. And your soul fam will find you. You guys are my family. In every way. You even support me on Patreon. Right? You support me on Patreon. So even that. So you find your soul family. Now my family has not disowned or anything. We're cool. I'm gonna see them in a couple of months. Really looking forward to the trip, actually. Really looking forward to it. And looking forward to see especially my mother. And looking forward to hang out a lot with her. Just be in love with her. That's it. I could do that with my mother. I have that type of... Me and my mother have a very positive relationship ever since I was a kid. So I could do... I'm lucky enough to do that with my mother now. Even with all our differences, we talked about it directly. We confronted it. Me and my mother are very cool. Me and my mother, I really very cool. We could just shrug it all off because my mom is a very loving, sweet mother. She's a very, very, very sweet, very, very sweet soul. Sweet soul. Oh, God, she's very sweet. So I could do that with my mother. I'm lucky enough to be able to just... we can just do that. I mean, I'm gonna be spending probably most of my time with my mother. Go around, go to the beach, hang out, talk. We could even talk philosophy, actually, me and her, despite our differences. So yeah, I'm cool. I'm really looking forward to see my mother. Dads is more difficult. Dads, I mean, because some of the Muslim dads, oh Jesus Christ, aren't some of these Muslim dads the one blowing up everything? I mean, it's mostly the Muslim dads, isn't it? Right? Some of the Muslim dads can be really rough. The dogma could really be indoctrinated in it so much, and they just completely have forgotten the feminine, the yin aspect of themselves in that love principle. And the dogma can really, the brain, the mind can really, some Muslim dads, you hear about honor killing in certain parts of the Middle East. Honor killing is you find out your daughter is dating someone, having sex with someone without marriage behind your back, and then you kill her. That's pretty common. It's scary, isn't it? That's why I say for a Muslim woman, I mean, God, and so many Muslim women are afraid to come out of the closet because it's simply your protection. You could get hurt. Because the entire, with those honor killings, the entire society supports it. They say good for him for killing his daughter. Isn't that fucked? That's the kind of levels that's fucked up when you think about it, man. Right? So if you're a Muslim woman and you're coming out, you want to first provide yourself you put yourself in a protective environment. Wherever that environment is, maybe get out of the country and then do whatever, depending which country you're in and everything, and how accepting your parents are, you might have a supportive aunt that may take you in. Okay, you might have a supportive grandma or something. It may be like that. But if you're a Muslim woman and you're looking to come out of the closet, then, again, seek for protection first. And like I said, if you want to talk, I'm here to talk about it because I know, I grew up there. First 13 years of my life, I grew up there. Okay, I know it in and out. I really do. And yeah, I grew up, if you're curious, I grew up in Qatar. Very conservative country, very conservative. And my family background is from Syria. Okay, so yeah, it's hopefully this video gives you a little encouragement. Your soul fam will be here for you. When you start to live in true with the spirit, your soul fam will come to your aid. When you begin to come to the aid of your soul fam, because you're already coming to the aid of your soul fam by living your truth, by honoring your truth. And therefore, your soul fam will come to you. Okay? If you're really afraid, and worst case scenario, you get disowned, or your family doesn't speak to you no more, then so it be. So it be. Your soul fam will come to your aid. Your guides, your angels, your soul fam here on the earth. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of light workers here incarnated now, And there's a lot of people that are waking up. Okay? So Also, if you're gonna do it, again, do it from a place of protection. Like if you're waiting to do it, let's say, and you know, but you're still living with your parents, maybe, I mean, maybe just make sure you're not living with your parents anymore, and then come out of the closet, whether you're a man or a woman, you know. Like if you're someone who just graduated, you're still looking for a job, you're still living with your parents, I would take it easy on that stuff a little bit. Maybe move on your own, and then be more open with it. So be on your own 2 feet first. Like when I came out with it, I was already on my own 2 feet financially. I was living in a different country than my parents, you know, and so I could afford to. I could afford to come out of the closet. Okay. Now, granted, again, my parents have gotten so much better over the years with this stuff. You know, I gotta give it to them. I gotta give them credit. I think the consciousness is rising all around. So wherever your consciousness is rising. So it rises a little bit. And I gotta say, you know, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at how well, relatively speaking, my parents have handled the situation from their own perspective. Yeah, I gotta say, you know, sometimes it isn't as bad as you think. Sometimes it's worse than you think. But if you're prepared for worst case scenario, then you're good because you're prepared for worst case scenario. All that being said, I gotta put it out there. I love my parents. I love my father. I love my mother. I love my family. No matter what, really. Even if let's say it came to disowning, I would still love them. I really would, because I just see that they're just acting on programs. I would see that you know, that deep down. I mean, I know my father's soul, my mother's soul, and they're both very sweet. My dad is like, oh man, he's such a great. He helps everyone, right? Helps everyone. Like these are souls. Like looking at my dad and my mother, they're benevolent souls. They're just caught up in karma, in the karma of earth, in the dogma of earth, in the 3D affairs. They're very sweet souls, actually. They're positively oriented, both of them, very positively oriented. Very, very sweet. And I reckon most of you guys are like that. You have parents that are very sweet. And, you know, I focus on the sweetness. Doesn't matter, even if we're not talking or we're in disagreement. I see they're very sweet. I see they did their best, you know. Again, I'm really amazed at how they handled the situation, because it isn't just me anymore. It's my brother too, right? Although he's less vocal about it, but same thing. They basically know, like both of us. Like, I mean, you know, they saw pictures of him and his girlfriend, and you know, like, you know what I mean. They know. So they know what's up. So, but they're handling it. They're handling it pretty well. They're, you know, relatively a lot better than I thought or my brother thought, and perhaps maybe your parents too. It's a different world we live in, and the thing is, it's no longer foreign now. Like my parents here, okay, they see our kids are not following our ways, but they also see their friends' kids are beginning to do the same. So now it's kind of becoming more of a normal thing, actually, for young folks in the Middle East to not follow the old ways. So it also, I think, it becoming more regular, the reaction of your parents may not be as severe as you think. That's very important to keep in mind. Because my parents, it's not just they're not seeing their kids are not following our way, but they're seeing that they have friends whose kids are not following the ways anymore. So it's yeah, you just gotta be brave. Just go for it. Your soul fam got your back. You take one step and the Lord takes two. All right, I know we're using now Christian. You know, I'm not a Christian, but okay, there's wisdom in the Quran too. Okay, there's wisdom in all the scriptures, right? So I could tell you some wisdom from the Quran. There's a lot of wisdom. You know, I'll use one here. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها means God does not burden a soul unless the soul can handle it. So your soul can handle being brave and taking on the burden of coming out of the closet, because لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. You see that? You see that? I'm like a double agent now. I'm secretly trying to recruit you into becoming a Muslim. So yeah. So yeah, I encourage you to be brave. I encourage you to take one step to the Lord, one step to your soul fam, and the soul fam will take 2 steps to you. I'm kind of a living proof here, because, you know, I got people supporting me on Patreon and giving one-time donations and stuff. So that's how much support I get from you guys, from the soul fam. You're the soul fam. You see? So, yeah. So thank you to the Soul Fam for supporting me on Patreon, the PayPal donations. You could do like $2 a month on Patreon if you'd like to become part of the Patreon fam. And Saeed Mubayed on Instagram if you want to reach, want to talk about this or anything else. And that's about it, guys. Until next time, may the force be with you.